Okay, I know the biggest question surrounding Venom is, did they redub the whole symbiote part? Well, yes they did. We can all rest easy. Thankfully, symbiote has been redubbed into the final cut of Venom. Now I gotta say right at the very get-go, I am reviewing Venom strictly on the movie and what I saw on the screen. I am not going into the mythology of the comic books. I don't read them. I have not read them. So I can't bring any of that in. So, you know, you can hate on me in the comments if you want, but I'm only doing the review based on what I saw on the screen. Good? Okay. The premise of the film is that a research spaceship crashes on its re-entry to Earth. And on the ship, it was carrying new life forms that it had taken from a comet. And they're symbiotes. Tom Hardy is our star. He's playing Eddie Brock, a reporter. Riz Ahmed is Carlton Drake, and he is a researcher and a scientist and a CEO. And he owns the company that sent up the spaceship and brought down the symbiotes back to Earth. For the most part, the special effects in Venom are pretty good. When it's Venom and you see all of him, or when it's even like half and half of Tom Hardy and Venom, it really looks good and it works really well. I think the parts that it didn't work well is when you would have these sounds, these loud sounds that would happen, and Venom would, you know, react and it would shake back and forth, and it'd get a little fuzzy and it'd just be kind of a little weird there, and it didn't totally look, I don't know, convincing, I guess, in parts. Then there was also one of the scenes where it's Venom and Riot fighting. Riot is the other symbiote. There's so much going on that it was really hard to differentiate the characters within them and their whole different pieces and stuff. And so I don't know if that really speaks to the special effects or maybe just the CGI part of that and the slowing down of the action a little bit so our eyes can catch up. And I wasn't even sitting super close to the film. I mean, I was at the back of the theater so I could see the entire screen. The acting in the film was just okay. Tom Hardy kind of mumbled his way through some of his scenes, and it just made him seem so much more timid than what we had seen his character portray earlier in the film, and even at different parts of that. And so it was just kind of, I don't know, inconsistent. Maybe that's the best word, because it was, I mean, not so unbelievable, but just, it didn't match what we had seen throughout consistently. And so it was just kind of a bummer there. Riz Ahmed is really not a convincing bad guy in this. I mean, he is this super powerful CEO. He's founded this huge company, and they're doing all of this research, and they have these symbiotes that they have brought back. And, you know, that's how it gets onto Tom Hardy and he becomes Venom. And he's, I guess, too much of a nice guy. So as Carlton Drake, I didn't buy it as this like cutthroat CEO business type. I mean, you can see him a little bit in there, and I guess he probably could have taken it a lot darker, but he didn't. And so he was just soft-spoken a lot of the time. Even when he seemed angry, it was just kind of like, yeah, I don't totally buy it that you're this really mean guy. The best part of the acting and even the movie was the interaction between Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom. And as they just go back and forth, and really it's a lot of it, you know, it's unseen. All of Venom, or most of Venom's talking, is done in Eddie's head, and so you just hear this voice encompassing the theater. And Hardy he from the outside looks insane. And it's funny, just his facial expressions, his mannerisms, the dialogue back and forth, his reacting to it, the whole thing was really good, and I really liked his performance in that part of it. I actually thought that that was probably the best part of the entire film also. There is a great action chase scene that happens through the streets of San Francisco, and Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock is on his motorcycle just racing through, being chased by all of these cars. It was very reminiscent of Mission Impossible Fallout. And so, you know, and I loved that scene. I thought that was a great scene as they chasing Tom Cruise through Paris. And so this same thing just through San Francisco. And I live in Northern California, and so I know all those streets. I've been down a lot of those places, and just, it was really cool to watch, you know, as it's racing through parts of it, and like, oh yeah, I've been, that's cool. And even as you hear the bad guys telling where they're going, you're like, yep, I know that street, I've seen that. So it was really cool to see. The action scene was really good. That chase scene was fun. Lots of, you know, just car crashes and just explosions. I'm not exactly sure where some of the explosions were coming from. I mean, they're being chased by drones and they're hitting things, but some of the big blue flames, I don't know what was causing that. They were cool to look at, but I don't know from a realistic standpoint what was causing these massive blue flames. But anyway, I was willing to overlook that because I was enjoying the chase scene. The story itself is just kind of so-so. And I really got the sense that they were more so trying to set up a franchise in future films and just kind of letting this one start out a little bit and get people kind of excited. So I don't know. I wanted a lot more depth to it. I wanted a lot more meat to the actual story so that I really feel invested and like I can't wait to see more when it ends. Overall, it was fairly entertaining. Now, not on the level of most Marvel movies, but I still wasn't bummed that I saw it. And I paid full price of admission to go in and see this. I didn't see it at an early screening and saw it for free. I actually paid my money to go in and sit in the theater and see that. And so I don't feel disappointed that I got to see it in the theater. I enjoyed it. I think though, if you're looking for a really great anti-hero, the better anti-hero is Deadpool. There's no sex or nudity, there is some profanity and there is some violence. And because it was taken down, I guess, or it just remained at a PG-13 level, the violence isn't even that much. And even as Venom goes to eat people, you don't see it. You don't see any blood or guts or gore or anything like that. So it's fairly safe for younger audiences. I give Venom 3 out of 5 couches. Now, it wasn't terrible and it wasn't awesome either. It was just a fun time to go and watch. Are you a fan of superhero movies? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.